Good evening, everybody. My name is Troy Wayman. I'm the president and CEO of Acadiana, and welcome to this information session on our Lafayette Business Challenge. We're very excited about this. We have a number of, you talk about a collaborative effort. This is an effort that it's been a long time in the making. We got the idea from Quinn Studer out of Pensacola, and he had a very successful event there, and one of our judges is even talking about the fact that he's been eating at the place that won. It's called Carmen's Lunch Bar. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Carmen's Lunch Bar. I can't remember that lunch bar part. She's been in business for 10 years. People are lined up out the door to get into that place. Rob Eddie was telling me that he's eaten there several times, and we ate there when we were in Pensacola, and it's just a great story of success. The cool thing about that challenge that they did is a number of the people that were finalists that didn't win went on to form their own businesses anyway. Even had some of the judges that invested in their businesses. So that's no pressure on you, Tom, or Rob, or Mandy as judges, but you can put some money into some of these businesses if you want to moving forward. I want to thank our partners. We couldn't do this without the Opportunity Machine, without LEDA, especially without LPTFA, DDA. Nita, thank you. Is Kevin here? Yeah, Kevin's back there. Thank you, Kevin, for working with us on this. This is going to be a great thing. And our hope is that whoever wins this business challenge will eventually maybe grow out of the building and have to find someplace else, and we can do it all over again. Or if it's the perfect spot and you're so successful in that spot that you want to stay in that spot, well, that means we're going to have to find another location and do this all over again to create some more entrepreneurs and grow some more businesses in our community. Again, the partnerships have been fantastic on this. The folks that have been willing to step up as judges, and I think they're going to be recognized a little later. I did mention 3 of them already, but I think the others are going to be recognized as we go forward. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for your interest in this program. We hope this is going to be a huge success for our community. The beautiful part is, as we go through it, not only are you going to receive some help along the way financially and with the building, you're going to receive a lot of mentorship. There's going to be a lot of our business leaders in the community that are going to step forward and have told us they want to be a part of this and they want to help people be successful in their small business venture. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my compatriot here, Mandy Mitchell.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Troy. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you all first for braving the rain, which we haven't had rain in forever, like real rain, and it chooses to rain today, this evening. So anyway, thank y'all for coming out. We're so excited to see the interest in the small business, the Lafayette Small Business Challenge. This is something that we know in our circles, the SBDCs of the world, the Laurens and the Heidis, and the Destins with the Opportunity Machine, Troy, Lita. We know that Lafayette in particular, but all of Acadiana is just has a really high entrepreneurial spirit, and it's now starting to be proven by data. So there are several sources that have validated that in this community, we have some of the highest number of startup businesses in the state, in the southern region. And part of it comes from our history here, having been founded, built upon the oil and gas industry. And in those early days, those people who were just beginning to understand exploration and production and support services for oil and gas, they were taking chances and they were supporting each other and not afraid to take a risk and fail and then get up and try again. And so one of the things that we have committed to at LEDA and each of our partner organizations, because we understand the power of entrepreneurship. We understand that entrepreneurship has been the way that some families break their systemic cycle of poverty. We understand that entrepreneurship is a way that women and minorities have broken persistent cycles of poverty. We understand that entrepreneurship is the way that people are creating jobs and economic opportunity for their fellow citizens. And like no other place on the planet, we believe in supporting local. I was talking to a consultant from another state who said, you know what? I love Lafayette. That's the place where chain restaurants go to die. Because we love supporting our local entrepreneurs. No offense to if anybody here is associated with a chain restaurant. I just don't frequent them, I'm just saying. So we're excited to see everyone here. We hope even more people come out. I love this concept, the Small Business Challenge. We are adding more fuel to the fire, the work we're doing at LEDA. A couple years ago, we adopted a new strategic focus, which really kind of looks at that entrepreneurship lens and small and minority business support, and puts it on the same level, on par with our efforts to do business recruitment, to go get Amazon, to go get Safe Source Direct, and to go get Schlumberger to do an expansion. Same level, because we see the value in entrepreneurship and small and minority business development. And so we're doing things at LEDA, new things, like a micro-grant program, which in the future, we will announce the winners of that micro-grant pilot program that we just did in partnership with a new kid on the block, but a powerful new player, the Lafayette Community Development Fund, spun out of LPTFA, brainchild of Kevin Blanchard, who's here this evening, partnering with LEDA to make funds available for those businesses that are starting out. In addition to that, we soon will have the Elevate Entrepreneurship Pitch Competition. A pitch competition will be here, October 25th, that will allow disadvantaged businesses to get into this space that our businesses are accustomed to, standing before venture capitalists and angel investors. So we are doing a number of things, business life cycle programming, of course the Opportunity Machine and the entire suite of what they do in this awesome facility, which by the way, I thought I saw Opportunity Machine board chair. Tom, where are you? Tom, Tom, stop hiding. Tom Cox, would you please stand? Tom is one of the founding members who's around the table when this organization was established, and he is our current board chair at the Opportunity Machine, working in partnership with LEDA and other organizations like Acadiana and the rest of our team to make events like this possible. So I have spoken enough. I just want to say thank you to each of you for being here. We want to pour and invest into you and into your idea. We want each of you to be successful. Whoever wins, there can only be one business to go into the Sans Souci Building, but everyone who is here is a winner, and we want to be here to support you either through this endeavor or through one of our other new programs that are here that we have to support small business and entrepreneurs. All right, Andre, take the mic.
So one thing Mandy always says that I like to steal from her is that economic development is a team sport. And that is definitely true for this Small Business Challenge. It would not be possible without such a great team of partners who are listed up on this slide. I kind of view One Acadiana as the point guard on the team, and we dish it off to all the partners who are helping with various aspects of the Small Business Challenge. And you're going to get to hear from those partners this evening. So our agenda for the session, I'm going to run through the information packet you have that you should have all gotten when you signed in. And then we're going to call some of those partners up to elaborate on some aspects of the business challenge. We have Anita Begno with the Downtown Development Authority here, who's going to talk about why it's important to do this business challenge in downtown Lafayette and why that needs to be a core piece of your application, the downtown context. We're going to hear from Kevin Blanchard with LPTFA. LPTFA currently owns the building, So he'll talk a little bit more about the building and what you can expect as part of the prize package. And then we have some of our business resource providers, Opportunity Machine, Destin, and Lauren with LSBBC are going to talk a little bit more about the guidance and coaching that you'll get through the process. My name is Andre Bro, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I'm with One Acadiana. Here we go. So I think it's been introduced, the concept of the Small Business Challenge, and I really want to call your attention to the goals on the front page of the information packet. So you see the 4 bullets there on the front page. These are probably the most important bullets in the information packet because these need to be at the heart of your business concept. And they're at the heart of the business challenge. So the primary goal, we're trying to promote small business growth and entrepreneurship. We want to activate a key location, and we don't want to pigeonhole the business ideas, but what we're saying is food and beverage, retail, or some other creative business concept, because we really want to activate the space, activate foot traffic, bring people into Parc Sans Souci. So those are kind of 3 the first question that people ask is, well, what type of business are you looking for? That's kind of how we're guiding the conversation, but we also don't want to limit creativity. Your business does have to align with the deed restriction on the property, though. And the deed restriction, which DDA just updated, calls for the building to be used in a manner that is consistent with the building's historical context, its proximity to Parc Sans Souci, and its unique place in the culture of Lafayette. So that is a requirement that the business aligns with the deed restriction on the property. And as was discussed, generating foot traffic, sales tax collections, this is within the Downtown Economic Development District, which is contributing to the outdoor improvements that Kevin's going to talk a little bit more about. And we want this business to continue to grow that Downtown Economic Development District and the sales tax collections there. We want the business to regularly activate the park outside of special events and complement the focus of making the park a year-round family-friendly destination. Complement the new inclusive playground that's going into Parc Sans Souci, complement the location next to the Children's Museum and Science Museum. So many family-friendly assets around Parc Sans Souci. We want this business really to help tie all those assets together. So the building, the Sans Souci building that Kevin's going to talk about, it is the oldest commercial building in Lafayette, and it's been many uses over the years. I think some of you, hopefully all of you, know a little bit about the building's history. The prize package. So One Acadiana is contributing up to $100,000. This is the big prize, $100,000. Which can be used for tenant improvements, or we're discussing sort of the details of this, but part of that may be able to be used to help subsidize the lease to the space, and we'll work through those details as the process progresses. But there's a $100,000 capital infusion being put into this business challenge for the winner of the competition to help get your business started. You will get the lease to approximately 1,200 square feet of the best real estate, I'm going to call it, in Lafayette. The Sans Souci building, not only does we talked about its historic significance, but the location in Parc Sans Souci in downtown Lafayette, it's an amazing location that really needs the right tenant, and we think that this competition is going to elevate the right tenant for that space. And you get all the support you could ever ask for to make sure your business is successful. So the partners we talked about, there are more partners who are going to assist. We're trying to engage financial institutions and folks with various expertise. We have friends from Catalyst Bank. I see Blair Green here. Andre Higginbotham with St. Landry Bank and Trust is here. We have Cheryl Bartley, who's starting her own CPA business. So we're trying to engage folks from the community who are able to wrap around you and provide that support you need as you get your business started. And they will be on hand to support. We'll connect you. We'll provide connections to make sure you have the support you need as applicants through the process, of course, the winner of the competition will make sure that you have all the support you need to be successful. But then, as Troy talked about, we want other new businesses to start as a result of this competition as well. We don't want just the one business in the Sans Souci building. We want multiple businesses to be started as a result of this. And then, as was mentioned, Mandy mentioned, Uplift, the new community development financial institution. So you may be eligible for some favorable financing through Uplift, which is a great asset for our community. The requirements. So what do you need to know? What's going to be required of you as you go through this process? It is a 3-round process. The first round we want to be as simple as possible so that there's a low barrier to entry. So the round 1 application should take you less than an hour to complete. And primarily what that entails is some basic information about you and your business concept, plus the components of a lean canvas. And Destin's going to talk a little bit more about what a lean canvas is, but in a nutshell, it's a 1-page business model that helps break your business concept down into its key assumptions so that our judges panel can review it and say, is this the right fit for the small business challenge? And from those lean canvas submissions, we're going to select up to 20 to advance to round 2. And round 2 is when you put your full business plan together. So we don't want you spinning your wheels, going through hours and hours of work, putting your business plan together. If our judges are going to come back and say, look, this is not the right fit for the Sans Souci building, we want to be able to choose those who really do have a chance of progressing through the competition. So round 2 is when you put the full business plan together. There's going to be a workshop series. If you know nothing about a business plan, the first workshop is Business Plan 101. So you'll get all the support you need along the way to put that business plan together. And we'll pay for the software, the live plan software, thanks to Leva's sponsorship, so that when those business plans are submitted, they're all in the same format. Our judges can review them easily. So that'll be provided to you at no cost as a participant in the Small Business Challenge. We talked about the requirements of the concept, fitting in and enhancing the downtown area, complementing the neighboring businesses. We have some neighboring business owners here this evening, and demonstrating added value to visitors to Parc Sans Souci. It has to honor and preserve the historical value of the building, and we want you to capitalize on the location in the park, particularly by the use of the outdoor space. So there will be a new outdoor space constructed that's ADA compliant that will allow for outdoor seating. We want you to think about how your business will leverage that outdoor space to really help activate the park. If selected for round 2, and up to 20, like I said, will be selected for round 2, there will be a small cost at that point. You'll have to pay for a background and credit check just so we can vet folks as they move through the process. You'll have to submit a personal financial statement as you move through round 2, but you'll get all the guidance you need on putting that together. And then one of the things the judges will be evaluating in the round 2 applications is whether you have sufficient working capital or whether you're able to get financing to start your business. Resources provided to you, which we talked about, the $100,000 prize, all the support you need from our local partners, a workshop series. You'll get all the information you need on the building, the park, and the surrounding businesses. And anything else you need that we're not already providing, just ask, because the whole point of this is to make sure you're successful. This is the timeline that breaks down the 3-round process. First round being the lean canvas that's due October 13th, 1 month from today. So everyone still has a month to apply. If you know someone who couldn't make it this evening, please share the information with them and let them know that the first deadline is October 13th. Our judges will score those lean canvas submissions and select up to 20 applicants to move forward to round 2. And there will be a workshop series. You'll have the opportunity for financial consultations if you need financing. We've proposed a date by which you should have your financing secured, and that'll all prepare you to submit a full business plan by January 5th. Our judges will then score those business plans that are submitted with a round 2 application and select up to 10 of those applicants to move forward to round 3, which is the pitch competition. And the pitch competition will take place on February 9th. That is the Friday before Mardi Gras. So if you were thinking about going out of town for Mardi Gras, if you're thinking about winning the Small Business Challenge, you might want to postpone those plans until at least the Saturday before Mardi Gras, so you can be there for the pitch competition Friday, February 9th. We'll take the week of Mardi Gras off, and then after Mardi Gras week, we'll have an exciting announcement about the business that's selected for the Sans Souci Building. So with that, I'm going to do one more thing, which is talk about the judging criteria and our judges panel, and then we'll hear from some of our other partners. So we went over these 4 key bullet points. Doesn't hurt to reiterate those. These are the primary criteria that the judges will be using throughout the 3 rounds of the process. If you do advance to round 2 and round 3, we're going to provide a more a structured kind of scoring rubric so that you have that to guide you in rounds 2 and round 3. But for round 1, we don't want you to overthink it. We want you to put your business idea down on paper, submit it over to us, and these are the primary things that the judges are going to be looking for. So who are our judges? Some of them have already been introduced, but we are so excited about this judges panel. We have a panel of 9 judges, which is the same model that Pensacola used for their Small Business Challenge in Pensacola, of business experts or community leaders, and most of them are in the room today. So we have Dr. Josh Bendixson with UL Lafayette. We have Madonna Broussard. I don't think she could be here tonight with Laura's 2. Tom Cox with golfballs.com, current chair of Opportunity Machine, is here. Katie Culper with Wild Child Wines, which, if you don't know, that is the business right across the street from the Sans Souci Building. Rob Eddy with Pinnacle Group is here. Thank you, Rob. Charles Edwards, One Telemed, really wanted to be here, but he's out of town. But he's kind of a serial entrepreneur and is so excited about this business challenge. Michelle Ezel, now with Katie Real Estate, founder of Tsunami, and I'm sure other businesses. So excited to have Michelle on the panel. Brandon Journet, DJ Digital, is here. I've been joking with the other judges that we selected you because you gave the judges panel a cool factor, but then I didn't want that to seem derogatory to any of the other judges. I'm sorry, Mandy, you gave the judges panel a cool factor too. Mandy Mitchell with Lita is also on our judges panel. So excited about this judges panel. They'll be reviewing your lean canvases you submit for round 1, business plans for round 2, and then they'll be engaging with our 10 finalists during the pitch competition. With that, now you're going to get to hear from Anita Bagno, who's going to talk a little bit more about the importance of this competition to downtown and the importance of downtown to this competition.
Hey y'all, it's like kind of weird to get up on this high stage while you're all in chairs, but I'll own it. Thank you, Andre. I think it's really important to point out again all of the partnerships that make this business competition possible. And in true Andre fashion, he gave you all the information you really need already. So I'm gonna be like the hype girl for Downtown Lafayette for a second. If you know me, you know that's like my gig. But I do want to point out my colleague Rachel Holland, who works with me at the Downtown Development Authority. She is our Director of Development and Planning. We have been dreaming about an opportunity like this, along with Kevin Blanchard, who is with the Trust Financing Authority, who owns the building today, to really have a blank canvas to create something amazing in Parc Sans Souci. So I've been in this job for 5 years, and I just want to stress that downtown is full of opportunity. I was sitting in my chair and thinking about how different even just this block was 5 years ago when I started this job. So Line Up Records was in a much smaller space, and they literally moved 3 doors down because they did so well here downtown that they were able to occupy a bigger space. I see some neighbors to the Opportunity Machine here in the room with Beausoleil Books and the Whisper Room. That was not here 5 years ago on this block. Bolt was not here 5 years ago on this block. Centauri's here, Green Room has been holding it down for a really long time on this block, but a lot of change. This building that you're sitting in today used to be a nightclub, and just a couple of years ago was converted into a space that is literally meant to bring energy and vibrancy to downtown with good ideas, business leaders, people who are going to, I think, change the future of Lafayette right from this building. So downtown is full of opportunity, and there's place for people like you in downtown. I went to the farmer's market on Saturday with Andre and Carly and Alzina, my daughter, and we were visiting with some of the folks who have booths at the farmer's market that I've been, buying your wares and your food for many years at the farmer's market. But I went with a different lens on, because some of you sitting in these chairs I've been talking to for as long as I've been at the Downtown Development Authority saying, gosh, I wish there was a place for you downtown. Let's try to figure it out. And the reality is, when you're in startup mode, or when you're a really small business who puts all your energy into your e-commerce site or the market that you're setting up for on Saturday morning, some of the spaces downtown might be too big for you, or it might be too expensive, or you just can't get past the idea of standing up all the FF&E that you're gonna need, or the build out there that you're gonna need for a kitchen. So that's why this opportunity, no pun intended, is so exciting, because it could set you up for something that's been a dream in your head for so long. It is a really solid idea, but it just felt like there was too many barriers in the way for you to stop what you were doing to put your focus on it. That's what this competition is about. I was in Pensacola, I guess it was like 18 months ago now, with One Acadiana for the leadership exchange trip that we took. And I've had the great fortune of going on 6 leadership exchange trips. One was a canvas trip with the Baton Rouge Area Chamber, but I've been to many cities thinking about how we can apply lessons of those successful cities to our own city, and we're doing one of them right now, y'all. And you can all be a part of this really cool story. So the space, which Andre did a great job of talking about, and I definitely don't want to steal Kevin's thunder, he's coming right after me, is a special one. It's one of the oldest buildings, commercial buildings in Lafayette, and it's located in a park where we at the Downtown Development Authority and Downtown Lafayette Unlimited work really hard to program that public space, but we can't do it day in and day out, all day, every day, because we have too many other things that we're focused on. This opportunity can activate the park all day, every day, year-round. Andre mentioned the playground that DLU, our nonprofit, the Downtown Lafayette Unlimited Group, is building. That's going to be immediately behind the building and off to the side of it. The outdoor space that's going to be built for you to be able to leverage is going to create an awesome opportunity for families to consistently come downtown and make this a part of their regular lives. And your business can benefit from that and be a complement to that. And so I think it's really important, as you think about what you're good at, what you do today, how could that apply to a park space that we want families enjoying, all day, every day through the playground? And how does your concept complement that? And how does your good idea make the park even better, even cooler than it already is today? You saw Katie Colbert's name up there, Wild Child Wines. They've been really successful over the last few years that they've been open. They were not here 5 years ago either. They opened literally weeks before the COVID shut down and had to get creative immediately, create an online website, and figure out how to convince people to buy their wine from a shop that no one had really ever even set foot in. And they're doing great in downtown Lafayette. We have awesome foot traffic in our district. I think it gets better and better and better, even month over month. Kevin and I work together on the economic development district that Andre mentioned earlier, which is a 1-cent sales tax that's generated in our district to help fund improvements, infrastructure improvements, projects that wouldn't be possible otherwise. And so it's really important to us that your idea generates sales tax. It generates foot traffic. It brings people and it gets them to stay longer than they would otherwise. That economic development district is going to be a huge participant in making this possible. And I can see that this project can help drive even more foot traffic to downtown Lafayette so we can continue to see our sales tax collections grow, which is great for our businesses. It means that people are coming and spending their money in downtown Lafayette. So I think I've said enough about why downtown is so cool. I'd love to talk to you more about your idea, tell you more about the great things happening downtown. We're constantly adding new small businesses. We believe that a rising tide lifts all boats, and the more cool opportunities and experiences that we have downtown, the better it's gonna get. So our office is focused on the 4 uniques of downtown. We're walkable, we're local, we're experiential, and we are welcoming. Nowhere else in Lafayette has those 4 ingredients combined to make a really special place, and we do. So I'm really curious to hear about your plans. I want to help you along the way, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce my friend, Kevin Blanchard, my partner in crime, truly, to talk more about the building itself and all the great things that he and I are always cooking up downtown.
I thought I might try to jump up right there, but I figured that was probably a really bad idea. Andre, how do I do this? How do I advance this thing? Is it you got it? Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the building and about some of the what we think the opportunity there is, but mostly just to get you oriented and to start thinking about this. So it's not a very large building. It's about 1,100, 1,200 square feet. This is a basic layout. You've got like an open area in the front, tons and tons of windows. You've driven by, you've seen it, but it, inside, lots of light. We are going to be building this outdoor seating area, just kind of shown here to the left. The property actually includes the building and the gravel little driveway next to it. And so part of the idea here is we want for the business here, for the use here, to be able to take advantage of its location right next to the park, especially with all the investment that downtown's putting into that park right now. And so we're going to actually be starting that work. We're going to build out a basic deck structure immediately. We're working on that now. We're doing the design. There's some potential to kind of add on, substitute, kind of work with that. But the basic structure is going to be in place. We're also needing to do that because this is a very, very old building, 1840s, not super ADA compliant at this point. And so we're going to be adding an ADA compliant entrance there too. So that's part of the underlying way that we're going to bake this cake. This is the overhead. This is the park, obviously, but I just kind of want to set the stage for you. Wild Child, the businesses here across Vermilion, are some of the cooler places downtown. You've got the Ashley Crossing, the development that's coming into the old Don's building. I actually heard this morning that they're going to be putting out construction fencing soon. They've got their deals wrapping up, and so that's really exciting. You're going to probably be looking at some food and beverage, probably larger scale food and beverage there. It's going to bring in a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people coming in and out. The park improvements, this parking lot here, a lot of people think that we own that parking lot. We do not. That is actually a city-owned parking lot. And this is where the bulk of the playground equipment and everything that is going to be happening is coming. If you've driven by, I think today, the coming soon sign came up with the rendering of all that. It's going to be like an accessible park. And again, high-end, really sort of like classy design that they put together. Parking garage, the children's museum. There's just a lot that's coming together in this one section of downtown. Let me tell you a little bit about like where I think the opportunity here is. Like Andre said, we're keeping an open mind. I can see tons of potential uses that would involve, either some sort of lighter food and beverage use, a retail use. But really what I'm hoping for is that people much cooler than me can come up with those decisions. And I'm looking out in the room and I see those people. Anita mentioned how this is an idea that we picked up when we went and visited another city. And I've been on a lot of those trips in the last 20 years, and seen a lot of cool places. And to be honest, there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening right now in downtown Lafayette. But there's always a story that starts, and it doesn't matter what city you go to, when you're like, man, this thing is really cool. Like, how did that happen? And someone's like, oh, some crazy person came up with this crazy idea and did this crazy thing, and we all thought they were crazy, right? But it turned out that it wasn't crazy. It turned out it was just new. It was just different. It was just something that was unique that we hadn't seen before. So no pressure, right? But that's what we're looking for. You know, there's an opportunity here to kind of plant the flag of a really cool space in Lafayette that's going to be the sort of place that honestly that lives up to the reputation of this building. This building has been everything. I mean, it is a 180-year-old building. We don't have old buildings in Lafayette. We are not an old city. So the fact that it's still around and hasn't been torn down or knocked down by a hurricane or whatever is just odds on, like, kind of, you know, miraculous. It was the first office of the Daily Advertiser, which is nuts, right? And, you know, quite frankly, the way the news media profession is going, and I can say this as a former reporter, I'm allowed to talk like this, it could outlast the Daily Advertiser, right? It's been an inn, it's been a restaurant, it's been a post office, of all things. But I think the key use in the last few years, obviously, in the 1940s, you know, when the building was only 100 years old, it had kind of fallen into disrepair. The original family that had built it in the 1840s actually had owned it all this time. They finally sold it to a local family here who put a bunch of money into it, kept it going, and they opened up a bookstore. And so the Sans Souci bookstore was there for 20, 25 years. That was up until like the 80s. That's where the park got its name. You know, so Parc Sans Souci, that whole area, that was from that bookstore. But if you were here in the 80s, and I wasn't, I'm not that old, you know, that was kind of when downtown Lafayette started to hit a decline. And so the bookstore eventually moved out. The family got the property into the hands of the city and the Downtown Development Authority. The trust was semi-involved. Again, put some money into it, was there for 20 years as the craft store where the Crafts Guild was located. But I'm here to tell you, you know, that was a good use for that time in downtown's history. You know, when people just weren't coming downtown, and we had to find a way to keep these great assets in play while we could. But as someone who's been watching this stuff for like 20 years now, I'm telling you, downtown has moved to the next level. There is a lot more potential in this building than you know, kind of a nonprofit model, right? And so the trust, we've owned the building for the last 10 years. We just put about $100,000 worth of work into the building. When the last tenant moved out, it was about a year ago, we went and did a full diagnostic. It's an old building. I'm going to be going over there after this. I'm going to open it up if you want to walk over or drive over. I don't know if it's still raining or not, but it's not far. And I'll open it up and you can walk through. It's an old building. It's saggy. It's creaky. There's a lot of character there, right? What's that?
It's not character, it's character.
It's character. And so there's a lot of effort that's going to go into when the winter comes into this building. There's going to be a lot of effort into breathing new energy into that building from a plain just infrastructure perspective, right? We never had an opportunity until now to actually have a lease that would support the type of infrastructure that needs to go into this building, right? From a landlord's perspective, I've got to have a tenant who's able to at least pay somewhere around market rent, or I'm not going to be able to put the money in to keep the building up to market shape. That's what we're excited about here, because the next business that comes into this building is going to be that next business that joins the line of the history of the people that have been in this building and that have kept it going, that have kept it alive. And so when you look at some of the deed restriction language and it's talking about honoring the historic context of the building, that's what we're talking about. Like, we want somebody that's going to come in here, revere, treasure the space, help us be a good steward of it, because you're going to have a great business idea, and I hope for you to be there for another 50 years, but I hope for that building to be here for another 100 years if we can. And so that's what we're trying to do, is the trust, is make sure that this is a thing that lives on forever. So I want to thank all of you for coming. It's a lot of information for you to get all at one time. We're here to work with you. You're going to hear from Destin and his people about the process itself. It's a wonderful, wonderful resource that you're going to be able to have. And whether you end up in this building with a new business, or you just go through this process and you're able to open up another business somewhere else downtown, I think you're going to find this a really worthwhile time. So Destin, I think I'm supposed to call you up to talk about next. But again, find me when this all ends. I'm probably going to mill around for like a minute, and then I'm going to walk over to the building and I'll open up for you. If you can't do that tonight, let the organizers know I've got the keys, so I can meet you out there anytime and walk you through. Okay? Thanks, y'all.
All right. Let's see. So we're going to talk about business guidance and coaching and some of the support that you're going to get by participating in this program. I know Andre mentioned it earlier, but my name is Destin Artigo. I'm the Executive Director for Opportunity Machine. And I'll just go over kind of some of the stuff that Andre already did, maybe a little bit more in depth, especially around Lean Canvas, because that's going to be the first hurdle that you're going to have to overcome here. And what we love about the Lean Canvas, and the reason why we use it, is because, in the words of Mark Twain, he's like, I apologize, I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have enough time, right? And so what the Lean Canvas really does is, it's deceivingly simple, right? It is simple, but it could be deceivingly simple, because you have to then take what you might have spent 50 pages to put on a business plan and map that out on a one page. And it's very easy to consume, and it's very easy to tell that story about the business and how you're going to generate value for the business and what value you're bringing to your customers and who they are. But you have to be able to clearly articulate that in 12 little bitty blocks. And so you have to take what you might have taken an entire page or two to talk about who your customer segment is and things like that, and narrow it down. And that's why I highly recommend anyone who's not familiar with the Canvas to attend the first session workshop, which is going to be the Building a Lean Canvas, which is going to be virtual. So if you miss it, it's fine. We'll make sure that it's recorded and we send it to you. We encourage you to attend during live so you can ask questions. If you miss that, or you maybe want to get a little bit ahead, in the application link that we're going to send out in a follow-up email to everyone who registered, right? In the application, we've also linked an instructional video that's short, like 12 minutes, to show you how to fill it out. And we also linked the PDF to the actual one-pager itself. The actual application itself is basically the 12 blocks plus a couple other things that are more relevant to why your business is important to the downtown space. But that's going to be just easier for us to consume, and for the judges to look at and review. So we do recommend look at that Canvas, map it out on one page, because it really does give you a high level concept of what you're trying to communicate to us, and you need to be able to clearly communicate that rather briefly. And so after that, I'll have Lauren come up in just a second to talk about the writing a business plan 101 and financial statements and projections. SBDC thankfully is going to be helping out with those workshops and hosting those. And then we have Lita that's going to be running market research and more. And Andre said that will also be an opportunity for you to basically come in and do an Ask Me Anything about anything that, if you did make it into the next round, pass the Lean Canvas, if you have other questions that haven't been answered, let's say you've never done a business plan before, you can have some opportunities to follow up there. And outside of the workshops, we're also going to offer up, I know OM, University's Lead Center is going to be there to support, especially those that maybe don't make it into the next rounds, to make sure that they're encouraged and continue to receive the support that they need if they do want to continue working on it and further vetting out their idea. But SBDC as well is going to offer up some time. And so it's not just the workshops that you're going to get access to, some mentorship and some guidance in these things, especially if you've never done this before. We really want to make sure that you get all your questions answered. You know, I know that it might seem a little daunting, like 2 months basically you have, if you've never created a business plan before, to create one. But once you do the lean canvas and get some initial coaching and guidance and you do make it into the next round, it means that you have legs. That means that your idea has potential, and we're going to make sure that you're able to clearly then communicate that across an entire business plan and have a chance of winning here. And then finally, the one workshop that is required is for everybody that makes it into the pitch. And that's basically us then working with the teams that are actually going to do the pitch competition. So you are going to be graded by the business plan, but you will also receive judging scores on your actual pitch, right? And so that is really your opportunity to once again tell that story as to why your business is the best business idea to go in that building. And that's going to bring more life and vibrancy to downtown, and also, you know, come in and participate in that history that Kevin talked about earlier. And so outside of that, I'll call up Lauren to talk a little bit more about the workshops. But the Lean Canvas workshop, I highly recommend it, especially if you've never done that one before.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Titus. I'm with the Louisiana Small Business Development Center, and we are helping out. We're excited to be a partner in this business challenge. You are going to see us for round 2. We're going to be helping train you to write a business plan, and the most important piece, your financial projections. If you are new to business, if you've never heard of a business plan, I don't want you to sweat it. You're going to go through the Lean Canvas model first. You're going to get that big vision of what you're doing, and then we're going to break it down into that plan. Those details are already in your head. We're going to shake them down, put it down, that way you can easily communicate that idea and take your business to the next level. When we get to the financial statements, what we're doing there is we're breaking down that idea into numbers. And I want you to be comfortable and knowing that you have a feasible idea now. It's not just a dream, it's not just in your head. Now we can see it in numbers that we're going to be successful. And so we're going to work with you in that, and also with Lita. As you do your research, there's a workshop on research. You're going to pull the research that you get into your plan. And again, we're just taking that larger vision, breaking it down, that way we feel more comfortable with our plan. So our team is going to be there to help and support you. We work one-on-one with business owners, so you can come in, work with our team. I'll be there. We also have Ryan DeVilliers. He's a business consultant with the LSBDC. And so we're here to support you. If you have questions, please call us, and we'll set up individual appointments with you to come in and sit down and do these. So don't worry about it. Don't freak out about the financials. Most people do. It's okay. That's what we do, and that's why we're here to support you. So again, we're very excited to be a part of this. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to working with you.
All right. Thanks. And Andre, I think that about covers it.
All right, thank you. So our last piece before those who want to walk over and brave the rain with Kevin to see the building is just an opportunity to ask any last questions that y'all might have for this evening. And I do want to put up here, this landing page too has now been switched over to a page with more information about the business challenge and the application. So now if you go to LafayetteBusinessChallenge.com, you'll be able to find all the information you need to know to apply. The form that Opportunity Machine has set up where you can fill out the components of a lean canvas is there. If you just want to click through it for now so you get familiar with what's required of you, that's great. You don't have to submit it until October 13th. But all that information's there. This is the page we're going to keep updated with everything you need to know about the Small Business Challenge.